Good evening. We are back with another episode of Corner to Copa. This is a player profile edition. I'm not going to do too much talking. I'm going to let Coach take it away. Who are we talking about today?
Thanks, Foster. All right, we're dipping back into the arms here today. Not so much a prospect. We're going with a 25 roster man right now. Tyler Holton, the lefty, also bats lefty, 6'2", 200 out of Tallahassee, Florida. Recently turned 28 from the University of, I should say, Florida State University. Originally drafted in 2017 after his freshman year by the Miami Marlins. 35th round, opted to stay in school for good reason. Tigers picked him up the following year in the 9th round, 279 overall, making his debut with the Diamondbacks originally back in April 28th. Brief synopsis of his college career, just because I know he's only been a Tiger for his second year now. So we'll get a little bit into the younger background here. During college in 2017 was a year for him, highly decorated, first team All ACC, consensus All American, ACC Pitcher of the Week 5 times, which tied at the time the ACC's longest, most for single selections of that award in one season. Second team All Freshman back in 2016 by Baseball America and D1 Baseball. Moving on to the Diamondbacks in 2022 is when he made his debut. In 10 games, did not allow a run in 8 consecutive outings from June 19th to July 28th, where he totaled 10 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 walks, and 10 Ks. So he was kind of used sparingly a little bit, 10 innings over, 39, almost 40 calendar days. Still not bad. We'll go a bit like in the last year's stats with the Tigers, who claimed him off waivers February 17th. So it wasn't too far before spring training before Mr. Holton joined us down in Lakeland. Last year, he appeared in 59 games. He was the Tigers selection for the team awards of Rookie of the Year. Led all AL relievers with a minimum of 50 innings pitched, and second in Major League with a .087 whip, which, according to the Live Sports Bureau, was the lowest whip of anyone with at least 60 innings pitched, not 50, but 60 for this, in franchise history for the Detroit Tigers. So year one, he was putting his name in the sand here in Detroit. Finished 5th in AL relievers, but also with 50 innings minimum pitched, with a 1.81 walk to 9 innings pitched. That's a pretty good low walk rate there. 7th in ERA, 2.13, and 33 multi-inning outings, which is the second highest in all of baseball last year, only behind Chris Stratton, who had 36. So I know we touched on Faedo in a previous player profile. This guy is also a gamer, multi-innings. It's kind of a rare breed. Not too many guys are able to do it on a regular basis. But he had a great August last year where he had 12 appearances, went 3-0 with 1 save, 2.25 ERA, over 16 innings pitched, 4 earned, 15 Ks. Did not allow a run in 11 of his 12 outings, with 10 of those outings going totally hitless. Longest outing was September 19th, near the end of the year, when they played out in LA against the Dodgers, where he went 3 1/3, 1 run, 2 hits, no walks, and 2 Ks. This year, we're going to get a little bit of this here. This guy, he's only getting better, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't seen some of the numbers on the surface, we're going to get between the weeds here briefly, and we'll show you why he's having such a successful year. Year 2 now with the Tigers. He's currently 4-1 with a 3.07 ERA, a .88 whip. So he's knocking on that door again for the franchise whip crown. 40 games with only 2 spot starts, bullpen starts, we'll call them. He's got 2 saves, over 55 and 2/3 innings pitched, 44 strikeouts to 12 walks. That's almost a 4-to-1 ratio in the neighborhood there. So that's really good to see. And I tell you, they're only hitting 186 collectively against him right now. Lefties are hitting 151 and righties only 212. And where he's finding his niche based on some advanced stats from MLB SavantCast, The seventh and eighth inning is where he is making his bread and butter. They're hitting 143 against him in the seventh with a 1.5 ERA and a half WHIP. Over 12 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned, 10 Ks, 0 walks. That's just the seventh inning. We'll go into the eighth inning. They're still only hitting 143 against him with a slightly higher 1.69 ERA, but even a lower 0.66 WHIP. Pretty much similar innings, 10 and 2/3, 5 hits, 3 earned, 8 Ks, and only 2 walks. I mean, this guy's lights out in the seventh and eighth inning. I know we've had some platooning issues with some of the guys in the, would be the seventh, eighth, and ninth roles, kind of mix them around. I think we found a guy who's found his spot in this bullpen. And it's that seventh and eighth inning right there. Currently, over his last 7 games, he's 1-0, 10 in a third inning pitched in 7 appearances with only 1 bullpen start, 1 save, 6 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 8 Ks. So that's a 0 ERA with a slightly above 3/4 WHIP, 0.77. Last 15, it gets even better. 20 innings, 15 appearances, 1 additional save, total of 15 hits, 4 earned, 6 walks, 16 Ks, and just above a 1.0 WHIP. And last 30, he's 3-1, 43 and a thirds innings pitched with 30 appearances. 1 more additional save, bringing that to 3 total saves. Only 28 hits, 12 earned runs, 10 to 34 walk to strikeouts, that is, with a microscopic 0.88 WHIP. And we'll go a little bit into his repertoire here. It sounds like he's got a lot of pitches, but let's be honest here, some of these he's not throwing anymore. So, briefly here, the cutter, number 1, he's throwing roughly about 88 miles an hour. That's 0.25% of his total pitches he's going to with the cutter. Mostly low and in. And now, mind you, when I'm giving this direction, it's to a left-handed hitter. All right, when I make these call-outs in terms of where he's put most of these pitches in the zone or right off, it's if he's facing a left-handed hitter. Right-handed, you would just flip it in terms of your left and right, not your up and down. So to a lefty, he's throwing a lot of them low and in and middle out right on the corner. So he is, call him Sherman Williams. He's based on that graph chart. He is painting that out corner. Sinker, average velocity, 92 miles an hour, 21% of his pitches. Likes to throw it up and out on the corner. Some middle in, some middle, and even a little less, few middle low. So he sets up that cutter action and sinker action very well to deceive with movement because he knows his speed's not, he's not throwing 98, 99 out there like Scooble. So he has to be a little more deceptive with his movement of his pitches. Going on to number 3 pitch, the changeup, which was not graded that well by MLB. 83 mile an hour average, also throws at 21% of the time, mostly middle, or mostly off away middle, more like a chase pitch. It's outside the zone. So he doesn't seem like the changeup is all too effective. He uses it just, again, deception, keep him honest, off-speed pitch. So he throws it off the plate a bit to set up some of his other pitches. Heading down to his slider, which he throws 17% of the time, 81 miles an hour average. Mostly off inside middle, off in middle, some inner middle. I think it's a pitch that he's developing more, along with his, I believe it's his sinker. His sinker he didn't have until last year. So this is a new pitch for him, and he's adding a slider in terms of the frequency. It's gone up almost 50% over the last 2 years, going back to his time with the Diamondbacks. He does have a 4-seam averaging around 92 miles an hour, throws at about 14% of the time. Mostly high down inside corner. I should say down inside corner, middle in and middle out. So again, on that even plane for the most part, where these guys have been seeing a lot of the pitches, previous ones with movement, kind of vacate that area. This is where he uses the 4-seam fastball to kind of pick away at some of the spots that might seem a little, juicier to a hitter. Lastly, he throws a curveball 1% of the time, 79 miles an hour. I think he's thrown this less than 10 times or 11 times all year based on the numbers. Mostly he just spikes it, or worm killer, as we like to say. It's right in the dirt in front of the plate, or, a hair middle, or middle down or away. So that's a pitch he's largely kind of gone away from. Would be interesting to see. I really think if he works on his changeup, that's going to help some of the action on his other pitches. But I mean, he's a reliever now. He doesn't need what do we have? 6 pitches he's thrown over the last 2 years. He probably only, let's say he only throws the 4 mainly, 4-seamer sometimes. But his chase percentage in terms of MLB stats, man, 98%, almost grades perfect. 36.4%. These batters are chasing. So his movement is working. It's deceiving. The only other category for his repertoire there, his walk percentage rated 84, which is above average. Only 5.5% walks to his batters faced. But ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are sitting on a gem here in the bullpen that we maybe not have been giving too much attention on. He's making less than $750,000 on a 1-year deal. This guy will be paid between last year and this year, and I think it is going to be a moderately affordable cost to lock him up, maybe 3 years or so, 3-4 years, because he's a lefty. But ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, Tyler Holton in your bullpen.
All right, there you have it. Please subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube to get the visual content, and Corner to Copa for all audio. We will be bringing you more player profiles, so please stay tuned, and we will have another live full show recapping the week, either on Sunday or Monday. So stay tuned. We out.
Thank you for tuning in.